Stacey, we're back.
Jason, we're back. This crazy life
It sure is.
here in the Eastern Sierra.
Never ends.
Yep, never ends.
I have a lot of things I could tell you, but we'll keep it to ourselves.
Okay.
Because we got a guest that's gonna. We need
We
to take
do.
the 27 minutes.
This
for.
guest is gonna. Chris, I don't even know your last name.
It's Andriessen.
Andriessen. Is
Yes.
that like Dutch or
That's exactly. It's
okay?
Dutch.
Chris Andriessen.
Though I am Irish. Who knows?
Who knows? Did you do
Dutch
ancestry?
name, but Irish.
No, that's just what my family has told us. I don't trust the ancestry stuff. I don't like the idea that they can own my DNA. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, totally hear you there.
Yeah. Okay. So I am so happy that Chris is here, whether or
too.
not he's Dutch or whatever,
Irish.
because it has been a crazy, crazy, crazy time here in the Eastern Sierra with the weather. We're
Yeah.
getting pounded. We have a break today. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but as of today, we have a little bit of a break, which is why we're recording today.
I think this is going to air next week.
Okay.
I'm going to
great.
edit
Yeah.
this one and get
Perfect.
it out there because
Great.
right now everybody is searching. Guess what? California rain.
Yeah.
California snow.
Yeah, it has been. So has your house been impacted with this at all?
No, we live at the right part of town.
Wow.
All the water flows down from us.
Okay.
It's been bad though. I mean,
It has.
CalTrans talking about it because you're the public. Is it public?
PIO.
Yeah, but what's the I?
Public
Information Officer.
Information Officer.
Yes.
That water coming from by the hospital from the what is it
Bishop
the
Creek?
rest home the rest home.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that water on the street that was crazy.
Yeah. We had a lot of.
It was like up to the sidewalk.
Yeah. We had a lot of quick flooding when on the heaviest day of rain here in Bishop on
Right.
Main Street on one.
We went out to Main
68.
Street
Yeah.
and filmed out there. It got over like 7,000 views, but we were driving by. We saw the two CHP officers had the road closed, and I don't think it was actually really closed. They were diverting them down the middle.
Yeah.
Water was flowing over. I think they closed those lanes to protect the CalTrans worker
Well,
who
they
was sitting there trying to get the stuff out of the grate to get the water to go.
Yeah, we had our crews out there. They closed the southbound lanes where our crews were.
Right.
We actually found that the actual blockage in the drain was not on Main Street. It was further east.
Really?
Off of the highway. Some drains that were just completely blocked that was causing a backup that led all the way to Main Street.
Well, down over off of Warren, we got a shot when you watch the video. The water was bubbling up
Yeah.
out of the drains.
Wow.
Because there was so much water in the drains, it was trying to find a way out, and it was bursting up out
So
of the
instead
drain.
of geothermal, it was hydrothermal.
Right, it was hydrothermal out of a drain.
So this goes back a little bit. So how did you, I want to ask you how you got involved with CalTrans and what your background was before that, like we were talking before we started. And I also want to know how CalTrans prepares for this kind of weather event.
Okay. My background, I started with CalTrans about 3.5 years ago. This is my 4th winter with the organization. Before here, I worked for the Department of Insurance in San Francisco. And one thing about state employment is you will hear, always try and move up, always try and move up. So, I started there and I was looking for where I could go next. And up came this position for information officer. And I looked at the listing and it listed, picture editing experience, video experience. And it's just like, wait a second, I have all of this. I went to college to learn film. Some of my prior experience working with like small toy companies, I did Photoshop editing with it. And so it's like, weirdly, all of my experience just slowly funneled into this one position that I could apply to. And, my boss told me as soon as I was done with the interview, she knew I was the right hire. So yeah, 3.5 years ago, back in 2019, after you guys had a massive storm in May that closed off the highway, but before COVID arrived, I squeezed in that little window right there. So yeah, and it's been a great time. As for preparing for these storms, we prepare every year because you never know what the snow situation is going to be like in the Eastern Sierra or just really anywhere in this state. As we've seen with these,
We don't know what the weather's going to be anywhere in this state at any time.
Exactly, it is. I remember earlier or not earlier this year because it's January. In fall last year,
Last week.
yeah. Like the Farmer's Almanac or the weather prediction for the year was like it was going to be slightly drier than anticipated, and here we are, the exact opposite of that. It's just
Right.
been so wet. So our crews, they prepare every year. We have a checklist of stuff we go down to make sure that our equipment is ready, to make sure that we are properly staffed for all of our maintenance stations that will need to do 24-hour. They do 12-hour shifts, but we work out there 24 hours. So, we're constantly on the road plowing where we need to be. So yeah, it's a long process, but it's a process that, you know, we have decades of experience in the upper management and the people who lead us out there, that they know exactly what they're doing.
Where's your sorry, Stacey, but where's your territory at? I mean, where does it start down below and end up above?
Sure. District 9, which is where we are,
Right.
it covers Mono County, all of Mono County,
Okay.
all of Inyo County, including Death Valley,
Oh wow.
and what's considered Eastern Kern County. And so we cover basically on Highway 58 about, I think it's 12 to 15 miles east of Tehachapi. There's a road that's Bealville Road. That's like
Right.
the cutoff between us and District 6.
It's big.
That's a huge
big
district.
area.
Yeah, and it also cuts off on 78. You know, we cover 178 as well. I think Kern County is the only county in California that's split between two districts. So, but it's just because...
And north, how far north?
Mono County.
Just Mono County,
Yeah,
okay.
just Mono County.
State line then,
Okay.
right?
Yes. And a little bit of, you know, the little 12 or 13 miles of 89 that we have before it goes into Alpine County, which then
Right.
becomes District 10 territory.
Okay. So you guys are the ones that close the gate right there.
Yep.
Okay.
That's our gate that we close. We always coordinate with the other districts that we share the road with on when we close gates. So if they're closing it, we're closing it. If we're closing it, they're closing it.
Well, this had to have been a hellacious week for you.
This has been a week I have never experienced since being here. You know,
Yeah.
the past 3 winters that I've been here, we've always just had like one big storm or 2 big storms that it's a day and a half. It dumps a ton of snow on us, and we get it cleared up, and then it's blue skies. You know, it's easy
For a month.
It's easy to clear up. I mean, last year we had the storm at the beginning of. No, let me phrase that.
December.
2001. We had the storm at the beginning of December, and then at Christmas time.
I mean 2021.
Yeah, 2021. Thank you.
That's okay.
I'll
We know what
do
you're
that
talking about.
25 more times in this interview. And then we had 7 straight months of nothing.
Right.
No rain, no
Nothing.
snow, nothing. It was awful. And now it's like Mother Nature's trying to make up for it. We've just been stuck in 4 or 5 atmospheric storms.
Like a biblical apocalypse.
So when this started happening, when the snow just didn't stop coming, what did the suits at CalTrans, I mean, who makes those decisions about where everybody goes? And did you guys have to hire extra loader drivers? I mean, how does that all work?
We are at maximum capacity in terms of how many people we have running our license to run our various equipment that we use, the plows, the graders, the snow blowers. So, you know, we always bring on, I believe they're called permanent intermittent employees, which are just basically our version of seasonal, to help out if we can get them to come in. But like the decisions are made by our supervisors of our various maintenance yards and our superintendent and our regional manager. You know, they're the ones who are out there in the field. They know the areas that are the hardest hit and where we need our equipment at, and which equipment we need there. So like Conway Summit right now, it's Thursday the 10th, 11th. It's 11th.
11th.
12.
Yeah, 12th.
It is
It's
a 12?
okay. It's okay.
I thought
at
it was
least it's
the
not
11th.
2001 anymore.
Yeah, it's Thursday the 12th. We're still working on Conway Summit, and we have up there, a grader and a snowblower going.
Is it open yet?
No, it is not.
Wow. Still working on it.
I just
How
got a
deep
picture.
is it?
It's when I was up there yesterday, it was about 5-6 feet deep.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of snow to
That's a
move.
lot of snow.
You're
there's-
saying something about a picture. I'm sorry. I cut you
No,
off.
about an hour ago, I got a picture from our crew up there. They have broken through and cleared like just one single lane. So we're still working to get the rest of it cleared. But like when snow is that deep, and at the bottom it's all just frozen ice and compact. Sierra cement is the term I've just heard today and has now entered my lexicon. It is. We need the snowblower. That's the only machine powerful enough to get up there and to clear that snow out, because that much snow, it's going to take our other vehicles.
So that's the one that churns it and then blows it
Yeah,
off to
the
other
spinning
side.
teeth
Yeah.
in the front,
Right.
snow blown out. They're bright orange. I think they're
They're
only trucks
scary
we
as
have.
heck.
Yeah, watching those blades. in
Yeah,
the
it's like,
front.
okay, don't
I've
get
had one going up to Mammoth to go ski one time up to the resort, coming down. You can see the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It just,
chewing away in the snow.
you
going
just
over
want to
your leg.
stay away from those babies.
Oh no, I love those things. I got up close yesterday with my camera to film it as close as I possibly could. I love the mechanics behind it and
Yeah,
everything that it
I
does.
bet.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my gosh. So
He's a guy. I'm a
so
guy.
you Yeah, I
We
know.
like that
Mechanics. I'm just going to sit here and go, So, no, my question is, how do you coordinate with Highway Patrol? Because they're a big part of helping CalTrans.
We just have years of experience of coordinating with them over radio, cell phone, direct contact with their. I don't want to say supervisors. I'm not sure of their hierarchy of ranking at CHP, but we're constantly in contact with them, even outside of the winter season, because anytime there's a road closure that they see, they call us. If we see something, we call them. So it is it's a partnership that just goes on throughout the year.
Who makes the call on closing a road?
It's CalTrans and the CHP.
It's a joint effort.
It is a
to close
joint
the road.
effort because when we close a road, it's due to safety.
Of course.
We don't want people driving on roads that we don't consider to be safe, and part of that is making sure that we have enough people available to respond if something were to happen, if a car were to drive off the road. Because if a car for some reason drives off a road or spins out, or a truck jackknifes, we have to pull people to go assist them. And like for CHP, they've been trying to hire people. We're trying to hire people. If we're stretched thin and there's something happens, we're not going to be able to have enough people to go cover it. So that is part of the whole safety process, is making sure that if something happens, we'll have enough people on staff to be able to cover it.
So I want to know what the behind the scene dialogue is when y'all come across a spin out or some people who are just boneheads and should not be on the road right now, and either CalTrans or CHP comes across them, they're stuck, they're spun out. What goes on with you? What's the dialogue that happens between CalTrans and CHP when you come across these people that just don't know how to drive in mountain snow?
Well,
I have a dialogue going in my head of what they might be saying.
I think a lot of us have a dialogue on our head on those situations, but what I'm hearing over the radio and what I hear from our dispatch, it's kept professional.
Right.
It's just
of course,
informing people, letting us know that this driver's up here. The most likely reason for us to get called in those situations is someone didn't chain up and now their Tesla spun out, or they're a giant truck that jackknifed and is blocking both lanes of traffic because they didn't bother chaining up. So, there's nothing scandalous that we're saying to one another.
At least not on the airwaves.
I find it funny because I moved from Washington. I lived in SoCal, moved to Washington for 3 years, and we drove in the snow and the ice. Like literally one time, it was just a solid layer of ice. You could only go like 2 miles an hour. Moving down here, you would change required. I'm like, wait, what? This isn't bad yet. But then I realized a lot more Southern California inexperienced drivers are on the road. So I assume that's probably why we make chaining up sooner. But up there, it was like, it could be snow on the road and no chains required yet, because I think everybody's used to driving in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I grew up in Washington, so I have plenty of experience of being driven around in the snow, no chains.
What about the ice? That's crazy, isn't it? When you get that rain and then the next night, it's like this. It's literally like an ice skating rink.
Yeah.
No, it's not just black ice. It's a solid sheet.
Yeah, I
saw
spun out
cars off
before.
the
I know.
5 that just trucks and everything. It was horrible one day.
Yeah. So who makes those kind of calls? I mean, if
don't
they know
know.
it's kind of sheet of
They
ice, it
don't
would be
have
like.
CalTrans. That's the
They
problem
have-
up there.
They have dot.wa.gov,
Yeah,
right, up
something
in
like
Washington. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, back to you guys. Great job.
so we've got a new batch of storms coming in, and
yeah.
or as when this will air, we had a new batch of storms coming in. So
But we got more coming in after that, I'm sure.
no, I think on the 20th we have sunshine.
Really?
Yeah, but not from starting. We have sunshine today,
Yes.
which is the 12th.
But is it going to
And,
stay?
No, tomorrow the 13th.
No,
Friday.
the sunshine on the 20th. Is it going to stay?
I don't know. It's like we didn't prepare. Who knew that the atmospheric rivers were going to be as intense
It's
and
a
powerful?
cyclone bomb. It's even more than that.
well, it's like what Chris-
hello. Whoa, whoa.
It's like what Chris said in the beginning. We were supposed to have a La Nina year where the storms
Yes.
split. They go in the north and they go in the south. They don't come, but they are just pounding Central California.
Okay, but you got to thank the universe for bringing us this moisture, because if we didn't,
Yes.
could you imagine what next summer would be like with
No,
the drought
we
that we
need
already
it.
have?
We need it. I'm just saying,
So
not all at
slam
once.
us, no
Just
kidding,
not all at once. Let's
Give
have
us
like
a break.
we can have 4 or 5 days of storm, and then how about 4 or 5 days of sunshine, so CalTrans and everybody can just catch up to the plowing. Hey, speaking of the plowing, what are those little white lines that you put on the roads on 395 just before a storm? There's
There's a salt. Isn't that like a brine?
It's a brine, yeah.
It's a okay.
We do,
Keeps the freezing.
that's a common misconception amongst CalTrans and in California, that people say we don't brine. We actually do brine here in the Eastern Sierra. We have a brine making equipment at Bridgeport, and I believe this past fall we installed storage tanks along 395 so that we could better spread out the brine and get it in more places faster. One thing to keep in mind though is that brine is not like a magic formula that keeps snow from ever freezing. If it's so much snow and so cold at temperatures, it's going to overpower it.
But it helps.
It does help, absolutely.
Well, brine, isn't that in Mona Lake?
Yeah, there's no shrimp in this. There's no shrimp on the road.
There's brine in Mona Lake. Why don't they use Mona Lake? Oh, you can't because
did
Mona
you say
Lake
Levining? That's where you said you're
Bridgeport.
making it?
Bridgeport. Up there.
This episode of This Crazy Life is sponsored by Stacey Does Weddings. Creating a fun and legal wedding ceremonies is a specialty for wedding officiant Stacey Powells Leister. Her motto is any kind of wedding, any time of the day or night. Stacey will make sure that the culmination of all the wedding planning, the ceremony itself, will be a moment of grace and love, honoring the fact that the two people found each other in this crazy world we live in, falling deeply and madly in love. Be easy as saying, I do. Stacey will perform any ceremony, non-denominational, religious, non-secular, themed weddings, interfaith, hand fasting, and same-sex. Stacey also specializes in last-minute weddings. Call 661-433-9800 or visit her on the web at staceydoesweddings.com.
Oh my gosh. So, is this the most dangerous situation, winter, that you've been in your entire life? I mean, you're right out there in the middle of it. When I called you, and thank you, by the way, for this last minute thing. I thought that was really important to have CalTrans here. When I called you, you were up in Levining. I thought, wait a minute, the road's closed. How's he getting Levining? Oh, he's CalTrans. He doesn't. So, but driving
He rode
up
his
there,
plow here.
isn't it dangerous? Do you have to be escorted up there?
I didn't have to be escorted up there. One vehicle on a road, one person's going to make smart decisions. One person's going to use common sense and know to drive slow when they're going over just thick ice and it's slippery. So I was able to get up there just fine. I was also in a vehicle with four-wheel drive and studded snow tires. So I was well prepared to be up in R2 chain controls, which is, I believe, what most of 395 between Tom's Place and Levining was yesterday. A little south of Levining is when it broke up. So in terms of dangerous, I don't really find it all that dangerous because I have experience driving in these kinds of these conditions.
I grew up in Washington.
Yeah, I'm used to it, but I know a lot of people aren't, and I know a lot of people won't use common sense, and I know a lot of people won't make the right decisions because I saw it on the road yesterday when I was coming back from photographing our efforts up there, up on Conway and Levining and Crestview. Between Mammoth and Bishop, I had one car try and pass me when there was not two lanes of traffic to pass someone on.
Wow.
Yeah, what were you doing, Stacey?
I was shoveling something.
I'm kidding.
You drive that Kia, okay?
No, it wasn't me in the Kia. No.
And then you see these vehicles that are coming from the ski resorts, most likely with 4 or 5 feet of snow piled up on top of their vehicle.
That's illegal.
That is illegal.
That's
yes.
illegal.
That is CHP considers an unsecured load, and they can ticket you. I've seen CHP pull people over and make them push
They
them
were
off
stopping
their car.
them out by the golf course on the way out of town, making them clear the roofs, and they were doing it again. Anybody that slipped by down in Lone Pine.
They have to, because my car was a victim of that.
Yeah.
When the first storm came in, I was driving and just down 203. And this car was going fast past me and bunch of snow on top, and it came out at me in like planks of snow.
Yeah.
And thankfully it was just snow and not any ice in there and I was like, when that came, I started honking on the horn. I couldn't go fast because I was trying to be safe.
Yeah.
But he just went off, and if that was ice, that would have been.
And it does turn to ice. It
Yeah,
does
it
become
does.
Sierra Sinan after a few days,
Yeah.
and that slides off. And I think I've heard of people having their windshields cracked
Oh, yeah.
from that flying off.
I saw someone almost get their car, I guess, would dented or maybe even crack their windshield yesterday. Just driving up there in front of the Starbucks here in Bishop, there was a Jeep going by with 4 feet of snow on top of it, stopped for the car that was turning in, and then as it took off, the back third of that snow just fell right off behind them. Thankfully, the car behind them gave them a little distance, otherwise it would have just smashed right into the front of their vehicle.
My wife drives a Mini Cooper. It's about this high off the ground. And a vehicle, one of those big, tall vans, had a huge load there, and it was taking the turn, and she goes, she was just like, no, no, no. Like, it's all going to come down. It would literally cover her entire car. But luckily, she made it through.
I didn't think they allowed Mini Coopers in the Eastern Sierra. I thought you had to have an all-wheel drive
No,
here.
which is why I took her to work yesterday.
Okay.
I want to jump off of CalTrans if we can.
Yeah.
So, your experience that led you to this job was film.
Yes.
Tell us about your passion in film. Let's learn about Chris and film.
Okay. I've been a connoisseur of film. Oh, that's such a full of myself word right there.
Nah, go with it.
Since I was a kid, I should not have watched Pulp Fiction when I was 13, but I watched Pulp Fiction when I was 13.
Okay.
And starting then, I was just fascinated with film and storytelling through film and everything about cinema.
So are you a huge Quentin Tarantino fan then, or?
Yeah, you know, I think his more recent work is probably some of his best. His revisionist history phase, as I like to refer to it as.
I've been able to hold in my hand Django Unchained script. That was
Well, because
Quentin
part of it was
Tarantino's.
filmed up here at the Alabama
and
Hills.
We were doing the film festival up in Mammoth, and Lone Pine Film Museum of Western History went up there, and we had to take the acrylic off, and I got to hold it. And Sean goes, no one really ever gets to hold that. And I had gloves on. I'm thumbing through the script. I'm like,
nice.
take my picture, take my picture, take my picture.
I think they named one of the roads up there after Django Unchained as well.
Yeah. I could take you to the filming locations if you're interested.
Oh, I've been up there a few times and can never find it.
I could tell you exactly where they are.
Oh, I would love that.
If you're really into film, I could take you through all of the Alabamas and point out like everything from the silent films to modern day.
Yeah, have you been to the film museum down in Lone Pine?
The one time I tried to go, it was closed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we should make a time and I'll take you down because
absolutely.
I got to film inside the museum every week. We were doing a series, and I can pretty much tell you about every piece of memorabilia in that place.
Oh, yeah? No, I would love
Because
that.
the guy that put it in there is my friend.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the worm is in there from Tremors, part of the worm.
Yeah, you know, talking about Tremors. You remember Tremors?
I love
I
Tremors.
know, it's a great
in
movie.
my house, in my home office.
You have guts. You have
sitting
the
up
guts.
on the shelf, going out because of the Tremors 30th anniversary, went out to the actual site, and I found a piece of a graboid. And it sits in my office right now.
That's so great.
And
that's
then the
great.
Blu-ray that played, it
Yeah.
was my Blu-ray that played that everybody got to watch. You know, everybody from the film, all the directors, all the cast, Michael Gross, everybody was there watching the movie. And so everybody signed the Blu-ray. It's in the office. So that's a one of a kind right there.
That's amazing.
You are special, Jason.
It's not special. It's just really awesome. I'm talking to a film geek. Let me have my time.
I know, it's cool. It's
Quiet,
cool.
Stacey. This is film stuff.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
I have a
Stacey
sign-
has a huge film history too.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it's not. This is not my show. This is
that's
Chris's
right.
show. We want to hear about him.
So anyway,
This
So
episode of This Crazy Life is also sponsored by Jaspin IT Consultants.
Jaspin is trusted by financial firms, hospitals, and small businesses with over 30 years of experience, specializing in computer repair for PC and Mac, managed IT solutions, managed antivirus, servers, virtualization, networking, surveillance solutions, VoIP phone service, and digital signage. We are building a reputation for creating a positive return on investments for our clients. If you are serious about your business success, our team of professionals can get you there. Strategic thinking, personal attention, competitive prices, real-world results. Discover the Jaspin difference. Located at 249 North Main Street in Bishop, California, 760-872-2797, or on the web at www.jaspin.com.
So I started my passion for film then. It made for awkward like movie going experiences with my family because I would critique a film and they would just go and enjoy it. Hey, did you like Happy Gilmore? Well, how do I say this? So that was a lot of my growing up youth, getting in the film and realizing that my parents and my brother and I have vastly different taste in movies. And that passion took me to college to Humboldt State. My mom knew or worked with a documentary filmmaker who suggested I go there to study film. And so that was my plan. And the course you need to graduate with a degree in film studies, the year I got there, switched to a 5-year rotation. And I immediately gave up. I thought I was super passionate. I thought I just had the drive. And boy, one obstacle was all it took. Oh, regrets. Life's regrets. So Yeah, and
But you stayed there, right? You stayed at
I
Humboldt
stayed
for a few
and I
years?
got a degree in law. Stupid.
In
boring.
law?
Humboldt has a
went
law
No,
department?
not a law degree, not lawyer. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Bachelor of the Arts with an emphasis in law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
You went from film to Bachelor of Arts and emphasis of law?
I
yeah,
get
because then my
that.
plan was to go to law school, but I also
get
didn't do
that.
that.
I went from theater arts. I went from theater arts and film in Humboldt to geology. No, wait.
I
I'm
went
sorry.
from-
Geology to theater arts.
I went from theology
Oh, okay.
to IT and film.
So there's the
Non-related at all.
it's the film connection.
Yeah,
We're a triad
absolutely.
here.
Yeah, we
it's
are.
a triad.
And even though I gave up, I hate saying that. Even though I stopped pursuing that
You
degree,
didn't give up.
Yes, I just slowly have I set it on the back burner.
You got sidetracked.
Yeah, I did take filmmaking classes when I was up there, screenwriting classes. I moved down to LA for a bit, and I worked with a couple like small little independent short filmmakers, and learned some of the craft. One of the guys I worked for was he was a writer on Golden Girls, and so I worked on his web series with him.
that.
Okay, so talking about the small world of film,
Yeah,
Holly over at the fairgrounds was the transportation coordinator for Golden Girls.
really,
It's a small world.
that's a small
And
world.
she lives here.
She had to like fight B. Arthur and Rue McClanahan off each other.
Just saying, there's a lot of film people in this community.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, this is a pristine area if you want to film westerns.
Including lawyers.
Yeah, really.
That go down and do stuff on set and then come back after it's done, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it's such an easy drive. From,
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, and if there's a snowstorm up in Mammoth.
So you might still be in the right area
Yeah.
to do what you want to do as maybe
connections.
not as a job, but as a passion and a hobby.
Yeah, I'm still tinkering around with screenwriting and entering a couple screenwriting contests every couple of years or so. So
We'll connect you with our friends.
okay, fingers
Yeah,
crossed. Fingers crossed that works out for me, because that would be the life right there.
Yeah, we have a friend, Manny Ruiz, who has written a couple scripts and they've gotten picked up, right, Jimmy? Jimmy's off camera, yes, he says. Jimmy
So
is our director.
from a contest,
our camera.
they entered a contest
He's gotten
like
paid.
because I know there's Roadmap Warriors, they do contests. There's creative screenwriters, they do contests.
Yeah, there's so many out there.
All kinds of things
Screencraft.
that you
Yeah,
could do.
Screencraft is
the
a big
one
one.
I'm most associated with. Yeah.
Yeah, I just my book I just published. They had Screencraft had a category for books that could possibly be made into TV series, and I entered it, and it made the quarterfinals.
Wow.
So,
Okay, let's do some fun questions.
okay, fun
Sorry
questions.
to change subject, but we got
Okay.
a minute, 2 minutes left. So.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
Do the Batman one.
So, okay. Jason wants me to ask you if you could be Batman or Robin, which would you be?
Batman.
Okay.
Although Batgirl is my favorite superhero, so I'd still
Okay.
be Batman.
All right.
right.
Cats or dogs?
Cats. Dogs are too needy.
What football team do you support?
Seattle Seahawks. Go Seahawks. Woo!
Okay. Why are manhole covers round? That's a CalTrans question.
All kinds of thoughts going through your mind.
I have
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
no clue, just because that's the only way you can spin them and see which way they fall.
Okay. Okay. What would you think would be a fitting epitaph on your gravestone? Or if you're going to be cremated on your urn?
Well, he tried.
I like
Okay.
that one.
What's the most interesting holiday you've ever had? And why?
This past Thanksgiving, I went to see Elton John in concert at Dodger Stadium and got COVID. So, ultimate highs and lows in that one weekend. So I'll go there.
Okay. Yeah. People still do those big gatherings and they're getting sick. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
What would you choose as your last meal?
Mac and cheese with tuna in it.
Okay, I'm not even going
What
there.
would you choose?
My last meal?
Yeah.
It'd be a steak.
Yeah, I'd be
with
In-N-Out Burger.
asparagus. Oh, that would work too.
I'd
That's
do
close
In-N-Out
enough to
Burger.
a steak.
In-N-Out Burger.
That's the closest one is in Carson City.
It's such a cliche California burger right there.
You know-
Five Guys is so much better.
Okay, so it
Well,
was
we don't have
glad
Five
we ended
Guys.
this way because we wouldn't have ever had a thing if he brought up Five Guys.
I bring
before.
In-N-Out Burgers down for people in
I
Mammoth
love
when I go.
In-N-Out. Well, that's our time.
Wow,
So we
just
gotta say
In-N-Out, just
goodbye
like that.
Chris, yeah.
Just
you
ending
said
with
you
Five
mentioned
Guys is
Five
better.
Guys, and that's it. We're done.
So this crazy life. Thank you so much, Chris, for
Thanks,
coming here
Chris.
at the last minute. We really appreciate everything that CalTrans does for our community. You guys work your butts off. You guys and gals work your butts off, and we really, really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Just remind everyone, please slow down and chain up.
Slow your roll,
There you
people.
go. This Crazy Life with Stacey Powells.
And Jason Brown. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.